All right. I think the Raiders just got really good news. In fact, I think because of the good news they just got, it turned into not one, not two, but 3 bits of good news. We're going to go over those today, who they're pursuing at the quarterback position. Then we're going to talk about how it impacts the salary cap and what it allows you to do to fold and mold the rest of your team around that. Now, I'm going to give you 3 names. I'm going to give you 4 names. Let's give you 4. All right. It's the weekend. Let's go a little heavy. All right. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Sam Darnold, Shedeur Sanders. Who do you want to be your quarterback next year? Put it in the comments right now. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Sam Darnold, Shedeur Sanders next year. Not in 5 years. Not in 10. Next year. If you want a team on the field that will win next year, who is your guy? All right, the Raiders just came out. There's an article done. It was I found it on the Score. It was that the Raiders are going to focus on Wilson, Darnold, and other vets, and they gave these 3 names: Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Sam Darnold. This is after the Matthew Stafford election to remain with his team, the Rams. It's interesting. I guess there was a Tom Brady unplanned talk with Matthew Stafford in Montana. By the way, you know who's really good at unplanned talks? Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I don't know if you know about us on this channel. We are Lions fans. We don't hold that back, but we're trying to give a non-biased view on other teams in the NFL that we absolutely love. Like, we get the Raiders, all right? Similar fan base, similar stuff the franchises have been through. Like, we get it. All right, and we love what the Raiders have done and the way that they've set themselves up for success this offseason. There's a lot to be excited about. But because of that history with the Lions, what we also know is that he had an unplanned meeting with some leadership of the Rams before being traded to the Rams. In fact, him and McVay, their head coach, were conveniently both on vacation in the same place at the same time and were able to have a beer over it. Okay, that's cool. It's unplanned. But with you knowing that Stafford is out of the picture, there are still 3 veteran quarterbacks. So here's why I'm going to make a push. I can understand the Shedeur Sanders argument. For this video, I'm going to make a push that they go and they get one of these veteran quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, obviously, we already know. You don't need to know about, hey, your head coach was his head coach, like all that kind of stuff. Here's what I know about your head coach, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll knows how to win with an average quarterback. Russell Wilson has not been, I'm going to say it for how it is, he has not been good anywhere except Seattle. He has not been good anywhere except with Pete Carroll and that team. Pete Carroll loves to play a solid brand of defense that sets the offense up for success. That's what he likes to do. You don't need to have a phenomenal quarterback in order to be a playoff championship caliber team with a Pete Carroll coach team. In fact, with both Russell Wilson and Geno Smith, he has proven that he can take quarterbacks. Now, Geno Smith is a much bigger jump than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had proved success, all under Carroll, by the way. Geno Smith had 10 years of being bad and then was good under Carroll. Russell Wilson had 10 years of being good and then was bad everywhere else. So it's kind of one of those things where they flip-flopped. But I want to talk to you about the position that this team finds themselves in, and why they can go out and you're just like, oh my goodness, you really want to go out and spend 40, 45, 50 million on a veteran quarterback? Go for it. You have $100 million to spend. You have $100 million to spend. Right now on Spotrac, you have $96 million. And there's other places you can save a couple bucks if you really, really want to. You can save $6 million by cutting Gardner Minshew. You can, I mean, like, it's not a ton, but it might help. It might help. You can save money in those areas. But then I think what's more important to realize is as you look at your overall team, yes, there's some holes. Yes, you need a number 1 receiver. You do. You do. And yes, you need to have a stud on opposite of Crosby on the defensive line. And some of that you have. There might be an injured D tackle that didn't play a ton for you last year that's going to be coming back. But this defense can transform really, really quick. And it got me thinking about the NFL big board. So you have the 6th pick. So with that 6th pick, you can do a few different things. I want you to think about this for a second. With that 6th pick, somebody is going to fall. Somebody that is a very, very good player is going to fall, and your roster finds themselves in a situation where you can use a lot of them. Right? Let's say Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are both gone. That means you get the 4th best player that is not a quarterback. Of those players, you have guys like Travis Hunter from Colorado. If he falls, would you be willing to take him at number 6? I don't think he's going to make it down there, but he might. What about Abdul Carter? All of a sudden, there's this news that he's not going to get surgery on his foot. What if he drops? I've seen crazier things happen. What if he drops and all of a sudden you have Abdul Carter and Max Crosby on the edges? That makes your defense go from uh-oh to oh yeah, really, really fast. What about Tet McMillan? Just a little 6'5", 210, 215-pound wide receiver doing some awesome things, right? Catch radius larger than mankind itself, right? Like, that would be good. Mason Graham at defensive tackle. Would you be okay with him? What if you get real nuts? Go Ashton Jeanty at running back. You got Will Campbell, the tackle, if you want to improve on your defense, right? Like, you got Jadir Brown. You got Tyler Warren. I wouldn't go there, right? You got Jihad Campbell, Malachi Starks, and then not to mention other defensive ends, James Pierce Jr., Mike Green. Like, you could go Will Johnson, corner out of Michigan. There is so much talent at the front end of this draft, but there is some really good talent that could be available if both quarterbacks are gone. Now, if they're not, how about that? What about this one? What if you go get Sam Darnold? Let's say you get Sam Darnold. Let's say you get Russell Wilson. I don't really care who you get, right? Maybe you get Russell Wilson. Maybe you get Justin Fields. And then you go out and you draft Tet McMillan. Or maybe you don't even draft Tet McMillan. Maybe you just go get T. Higgins in free agency. And you're like, no, we're just going to solve our number one receiver with a proven guy who's a beast when he's doing it. All of a sudden, your offense is transformed. You already have Brock Bowers. Now you have a number one receiver. Your offensive line is just fine, right? And you can now focus. If you get those two guys in free agency, now you can focus on the defensive side of the ball. And you hope that Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, one of those guys, drops. I'm all in. I think it could be perfect. Perfect for the Raiders. Let me know what your thoughts are. How would you want them to handle this offseason? Free agency is just around the corner. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.